Let's talk about something we all have, a digital double life. You know, there's the you behind the screen, and then there's the polished, curated version of you online. But how much control do we really have over that digital self? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and find out.
So, let me just ask you straight up. Are you the one in control? Now, most of us would say, of course I am. But the truth is, it's way more complicated than that. There are these powerful, almost invisible forces at play that shape our decisions in ways we barely even notice.
I mean, think about it. You know that feeling, right? You snap like 10, maybe 20 photos just to get that one perfect shot. You spend ages crafting the perfect witty caption. It's this subtle, constant pressure to present the absolute best version of your life. Or how about this one? You're scrolling, you see an amazing limited time deal, and before you know it, you've clicked buy now. It's almost automatic. And then, maybe a day later, you're wondering, did I really need that? And then there's the news feed. You see a headline that just clicks. It perfectly matches what you already believe. And bang, you share it without even thinking twice. Well, all of these little moments, they're all connected by these hidden forces working just beneath the surface.
So, the first hidden force we need to talk about, it's actually inside our own heads. Our brains are just flooded with information online, right? And to cope with it all, they create these little mental shortcuts. But the problem is, while these shortcuts are super efficient, they can also lead us way off track.
Psychologists have a name for these shortcuts: cognitive biases. Think of it like this. Your brain has two operating systems. There's the slow, careful, analytical System 2. But in the super-fast digital world, we're almost always running on System 1, the fast, intuitive, gut reaction system. And that is exactly where these biases love to hang out. Let's look at a few big ones.
Okay, first up is what's called the anchoring bias. This is where the very first piece of information you see becomes this powerful anchor in your mind, setting the reference point for everything that comes after it.
And e-commerce is the perfect example of this in action. You see a shirt with a tag that says, was $100, now on sale for $50. That $100 is the anchor. It makes $50 feel like an incredible deal, an absolute steal, even if that shirt was never actually worth $100 to begin with. Your rational brain just gets completely bypassed.
All right, let's move on to the next one, because this is where it starts to build. It's called the availability heuristic, and the idea is really simple. If we can think of something easily, our brain assumes it's more common or more important than it really is.
And social media basically acts like a supercharger for this bias. If a story or some piece of misinformation goes viral and you see it again and again and again in your feed, your brain starts to think, wow, this must be a huge deal just because it's so available in your memory.
And that brings us to the real heavy hitter, confirmation bias. This one is powerful. It's our brain's deep, deep desire to be right. We actually go out and hunt for information that proves what we already believe, and we tend to ignore or just dismiss anything that challenges us. This is the engine that drives the online echo chamber. Instead of exploring different ideas, we are magnetically drawn to the stuff that tells us, yep, you were right all along. And sure, it feels good, but it's a massive roadblock to actually learning anything new. Okay, now this might look a little technical, but I promise you, this is probably the single most important number we're going to look at today. Researchers were actually able to measure the impact of these biases. And this number, -0.42, shows the link between our confirmation bias and how good our online decisions are. So, what does that actually mean? It means that the more you give in to your confirmation bias, the worse your decisions get. It's a strong link. To put it simply, our fundamental need to be right is the single biggest trap that causes us to be wrong online. But our own brains are only half the story.
The second hidden force isn't just about how we take in information. It's about how we present ourselves to the world. And it's called impression management.
Simply put, impression management is just all the little things we do to control how other people see us. And look, this isn't new. People have been doing it since the dawn of time. But social media has given us a level of control over our image that is totally unprecedented.
A sociologist named Irving Goffman came up with the perfect metaphor for this decades ago. He said that all of our social interactions are basically like a play. We are all actors on a stage performing roles for an audience.
And this is the perfect way to understand his idea in the digital age. Your public profile, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, that's your front stage. It's the polished, perfected performance you put on for the world. But the backstage, well, that's your private life, the
the messy moments, the self-doubt, the weird conversations in your DMs. The real danger is we spend so much time looking at everyone else's front stage, we start to forget our own backstage is normal.
Okay, so we've got these two powerful forces, our brain's tricky shortcuts and our deep social needs to manage how we're seen. So what happens when modern technology basically pours gasoline on that fire?
While you get this is the crucial part. A digital feedback loop. It works like this. First, you perform your online identity, liking and sharing things that fit your front stage persona. Second, the algorithms are watching all of that. Their only goal is to keep you scrolling. So third, they feed you more of what you seem to like, which directly plays into your confirmation bias. And before you know it, your curated self and your mental shortcuts get locked into this cycle, building a filter bubble that gets thicker and harder to see through every single day. Now, I know that sounds a little grim, but here is the good news. Understanding these hidden forces, that is the absolute first step to taking back control. And the same research that laid out the problem also points us directly to the solution.
And check this out. This was a really surprising finding from the study. It turns out that users aged 45 and over consistently made better, more rational decisions online. So why is that? Well, it suggests that life experience, maybe just a healthy dose of skepticism you learn over time, helps you spot these digital traps. It's proof that we can all learn to navigate this world more wisely.
And this table right here shows us exactly how to do it. Just look at the two numbers. We already know that confirmation bias has that strong negative pull on our choices. But look at the second line, digital literacy. It has a significant positive impact. It's the antidote.
So what is digital literacy really? It's not about being a coding genius or a tech expert. It's about building better mental habits. It's that little pause before you hit share where you ask yourself, wait, is this just my confirmation bias talking? It's remembering that your feed is a personalized mirror, not a window to the entire world. And maybe most importantly, it's making a conscious choice every now and then to click on a link you wouldn't normally read.
So here's the bottom line. Our online world is absolutely a stage, and our brains are wired to love shortcuts. But we are not just puppets of our biases or the algorithms. By becoming more digitally literate, we can be the directors of our own digital lives. And that really just leaves us all with one final question to think about.